What's up, fantasy managers? This is your lucky bastard here. This is the reaction video for week 5. We go over the news that happened over the weekend. We're going to talk about the players who smashes, the players who crashes, and we'll talk about trades, some fantasy trades, and the start of the week. If that interests you, stick around for 7 seconds.
What's up, Zoners? This is Tyler, Big Turd Ward, and Jason, the lucky bastard Ethan Wolk, coming at you live from the West Coast. And this is the Fantasy Red Zone. Today's episode, we're going to be doing news for you. All of the breaking news from this weekend. I have some stuff that directly affects my team, Jason, tonight. There were some big injuries that you may not know about. They may be more serious than we think. Jason owns him. He's a rookie that gets 30 yards a carry. And then also, we're going to be going over our starts of the week. Jason's start of the week was a super fucking smash. My start of the week is tonight, so who knows? Romeo Dobbs. And then we're going to be going over our smashes and crashes from this week. The players that killed it and the players that got killed. Jason, before we get into all of that, would you please tell the public how they can help this show?
Killed or be killed. If you guys made it this far, if you could please hit the subscribe, press the like. We like the likes. Leave us a comment. Let us know if any of your players smashed or crashed or killed it. If you're in the radio, we're also on Spotify at the Fantasy Red Zone.
Thank you, Jason. Started off with my Davante Adams. If you are a fan of this show, you know that Jason and I were head-to-head this week. We are the top 2 teams in our most important 12-man league. And Jason sent me GGs yesterday. I was busy all day with family. Last I saw, Kelsey went out with an injury. Anyways, I still have Davante Adams playing tonight.
It was a rough second half of the afternoon games for me.
Yeah, because I thought I was going to get killed, and then all of a sudden you're all texting me GGs. I'm like, what the fuck is going on around here, dude?
I feel like it was going decent. I kind of looked like we were going to be close, but then there was I just saw 3 of your players scored back-to-back touchdowns, and my players were back-to-back fumbles, interceptions.
I was going to say fumbles or interceptions. So anyways, I did see Jimmy Garoppolo is starting tonight. That is good news for Davante Adams. I know that he's going to be going through injury, but dude, he got injured earlier on in the game last week and ended up having a good game. So I expect him to, have 100 yards and a touchdown this game. Jason, Saquon Barkley, man. He has been making progress in his rehab, but they still will not say if he's going to be ready for week 6. I would still try to trade for Saquon Barkley if I could, because running backs are so fucking scarce this year, Jason. And and like we were, he is the team. So I know the Giants suck, but man, he's just going to accumulate yards and a touchdown every once in a while.
I think Daniel Jones might be in concussion protocol too.
Yeah, and dude, Tyrod Taylor, right, came in after him and did pretty well.
I'd rather have Taylor than Jones behind that offensive line.
Yeah, it's like the Giants' worst nightmare, man. Daniel Jones getting injured and then Tyrod Taylor coming in and doing better right after they paid Daniel Jones. That makes him look dumb.
Well, they already look dumb by paying Jones.
Yeah, I know. So, and then Jason, moving forward, T. Higgins. One of my pickups on the waiver wire is that white dude with the long neck, man. It's Irwin or something like that. It's his 5th year. He was one that got 10 targets, not Tyler Boyd. So if T. Higgins is out another week, go get that draft dude.
Go get that draft dude? Yeah.
The giraffe guy. It's his profile was all neck.
Giraffe. I thought you said giraffe. I was like, that
no,
draft dude?
those monsters in there.
Those monsters in Africa, those wildebeests.
Well, I watched these videos where they start hitting each other's neck. I'm like, fuck, dude. I have to click it because I can't watch these. I can't watch that, dude.
Yeah.
Waiting for a neck to break. That's why I call them.
House.
Monsters, man.
Yeah.
Jason, this is big news, man. Big news for me because it's my fucking team, Jason. And then big news for your dad because he has Jordan Addison, who I should have traded for earlier on. Dude, Justin Jefferson, man. Hamstring. He's going MRI test or something like that, dude. It's pretty severe, and they're getting ready to miss a lot of time. So, dude, Keenan, this is so bad. We're looking at maybe 4 to 6 weeks. Worst case scenario, maybe even more. How do you feel about all this, Jason?
Justin Jefferson missing 4 to 6 weeks, the number one pick, the best wide receiver in the league right now. That sucks for every. This is why you don't get near in last place in your fantasy leagues, so you don't have to worry about your number one pick busting.
Well, you know what I'm thinking, Jason, is like part of the reasoning about wide receivers being taken over running backs this year, especially, was injury concerns. So it's like, Justin Jefferson. Now he goes down with a hamstring. It's like, oh, I don't know, man. That just sucks. Last time there was an overall number one pick for a wide receiver, or a wide receiver was the number one overall pick, was Antonio Brown, like in 2016 or something like that, and he finished the year top 3. Justin Jefferson, if he misses 4 to 6 games, he's probably just going to barely miss the top 10, or he'll barely be in the top 10 probably.
That's rough, but he'll be back in time to make that late push for playoffs.
So now is the time to trade. Like, I'll probably put in some trades for Justin Jefferson now, because I'm set for playoffs. Like, so if you're like a team like me, 5-0 or some crap, I'm not trying to brag. I'm just telling you, because believe me, dude, I won like one game last year, literally. So I understand what it's like. It's all luck.
Yeah, the guy that you're playing, or who has Justin Jefferson, I think he's like 1 for 4. So he's going to need some players.
Yeah, so, I mean, if you got somebody like Puka Nacua and somebody else, maybe you can put something together for him. And Jordan Addison is now, dude, big time for me. And this is a huge hit to Kirk Cousins, though. A huge hit is what I see this as, Jason.
Yeah, this is going to affect Kirk Cousins a lot. I mean, look how they were playing yesterday. I mean, they were pretty much bossing Justin Jefferson around yesterday's game. It was crazy, but Jordan Addison came up with a touchdown, right?
Yeah, and then Kirk Cousins, after this news came out, was talking about how much he likes Addison and how they're going to be okay. But dude, Justin Jefferson, man, is going to be
KJ Osborne too.
Yeah. So yeah, people should be picking up KJ Osborne, and they should be I didn't realize how severe this injury was until today, and they should be picking up. I don't know. I guess that's it, really. Sorry, I got a loogie. I've been sick, man. Moving forward.
Okay.
Jason, Zay Jones, man, before, like, so he had like that touchdown in week 1. He had like 7 targets. He had 6 targets in week 2. Then he got injured. Then he came back from that knee injury. I think he got a touchdown right this week again. And then got his knee injured. And now he's getting MRIs, which is terrible. I always say on my waiver show, you should pick this dude up.
Oh.
So now, depending on how this knee is, you might want to forget about him. But man, I'm telling you, like, when Zay Jones is playing, he is like a favorite red zone target, and I think that he's preferred almost over Christian Kirk. It's just a matter of him playing this year, and it's looking bad.
Yeah, he's a bigger body. But
he's got that big body.
He's got that big body, but he's not able to stay healthy, which is it's very unfortunate for the fella.
Yeah, dude, but I just think like Zay Jones is terribly undervalued. Like, people don't talk about him at all. And like, if you're desperate for a wide receiver and you have like an IR spot, I think that he's a better stash than most. What else, Jason? Travis Kelce ankle did not participate in practice Monday. I know that's bullshit because there was no practice Monday. But I do want to say that he scared the shit out of me, and this is worth monitoring. He avoided a high ankle sprain. That was the last thing I saw. But next week is in question. If you're like, I mean, if you don't get Logan Thomas or something, just pick up Noah Gray and start him instead of Kelce and just get like 5 points.
Yeah. It was a non-contact injury, dude. So, you always kind of expect the worst when you see stuff like that. But he was like pissed. He was like throwing his helmet down. He was limping. I was like, this is it. It's happening. But then he came out and scored a touchdown in the second half.
So, Jason, we'll talk about 2 quarterbacks right now since they both have the same injuries of different degree. Deshaun Watson, man. So he had the AC joint sprain. I think it was like a grade 1, which is not that bad. He is considered day-to-day. And last time we saw him, he actually threw the ball well. I want to see how he throws the ball after getting injured. It sucks that he injured his shoulder. Right after that, right now is a good time to trade for Amari Cooper if you can. And then Anthony Richardson, speaking of AC joints, Jason, all I've heard is a grade 3 AC joint sprain or something.
Oh,
I think that's going to be like months or some shit like that. So Yeah, he's going to just be an IR stash because you don't want him to hit the waiver wire. But even when he returns, man, a grade 3, whatever sprain, it's not going to be the same.
Yeah, well, I think people have him on their team for his running ability, not his throwing ability.
Well, man, he was throwing for like 200 yards a game at least. So he was throwing the ball so much better than I thought he was. Like that was a testament to Shane Steichen. And like, do you see that one ball where he's like Aaron Donald was tackling him and he was like in the air and threw it 65 yards to Josh Downs or something? I forget who it was. That was like
Mr.
a huge
Downs?
clip from last week's play. I'm just afraid of those freak plays now. Probably not happening.
Well, I mean, but like I said, like, yeah, he could throw for 200 yards, but you're getting him because he could rush for 2 touchdowns a game.
Yeah,
That's
maybe we'll
12
run him
points.
more.
Yeah.
And hey, you don't have to worry about Jonathan Taylor, maybe.
Oh, man.
I know, right? Aaron Jones, Jason. He's
playing
inactive. Yeah, he's inactive for tonight. So,
Inactive?
this is why. Yeah, what's up?
No, I'm just inactive. He is not playing tonight.
Yeah, he's inactive.
It's just crazy. I'm sorry, it's crazy, man.
With the same, so he came in, he played, he was limited last week, coming back for a hamstring. This is reminiscent, Jason, of Keenan Allen last year. Came back, played a little bit, popped it right off the bat, and then was out just kind of like week to week for like 6 weeks. Remember that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if I'm an Aaron Jones owner, I'm not trading for Aaron Jones right now because in their mind they can get like 20 points a game off him. Yeah.
I tried trading for him last week.
Dude, I don't know. This right here just scares me. Like a reoccurring hamstring injury. And but this is good for my start of the week. This is what I was saying, man. I was like, dude, Dobbs, people are undervaluing Dobbs. Romeo, I should say. There's a couple Dobbs now in this league. So what was I gonna say, Jason? Oh, look for Romeo. Kill it tonight. Tank Dell, Jason, got a concussion yesterday. I did not hear that until right now.
Howdy.
Yeah, and so I know that he didn't. I mean, he had that one blow-up game, and they're like, "Oh, it's a breakout party." After that, man, kind of a quiet game. Now, this quiet game, I don't know if he left early with the concussion. Like I said, man, I was so up to my fucking neck and family yesterday. I couldn't do shit.
Yeah, I mean, that was a tough matchup against the Falcons anyway.
All right, Mr. Jason, this is what I want to talk about. I mentioned this in the beginning. Breaking news. Devon Achane is getting his knee looked at, and they were trying to, like, dude, get Mike McDaniels to be like, is he getting an MRI? Is he getting an MRI? And Mike McDaniels like, there are various things that are happening, you know? Like, he was just saying his old crazy shit. So I have found reports of, don't worry about it. It does not seem serious. Mike McDaniels is not concerned. But I've also seen reports, shit, man, who knows how much time this guy might miss. So it's kind of like 50-50. I'm citing on that it is not that he was just being sarcastic. Jason, you know, it's kind of like, you know, is he going to play tomorrow? Like, who knows? Everybody might be dead by tomorrow.
Yeah. I watched that game, and they had him in there towards the end of the fourth quarter, and I saw the tackle, and he ran off limping. I'm like, oh, no. But I was like, you know what? At least he's running off limping.
He's running off.
Yeah, but... And then I get these reports that he's getting his knee evaluated. Stay tuned.
So that is scary. And if you are going to try to get a Achane off an Achane owner, good luck, dude. You're going to need some fucking ammunition, Jason.
Show me the money.
Yeah. All right, man. That is the news for yous, unless you can think of anything else, dude.
I've
got another thing, too. I've got a disappointing piece of news for you, Jason.
What?
So, anyways, Daniel Jones, he fucked up his neck. He's got that giraffe neck too, man. They're out there banging their heads next together.
Oh, he's okay.
They're optimistic. They're optimistic about his chances to play.
Damn, that's funny. Oh, that hits me right here.
I know, dude. I know. So. We want to see a non-Daniel and for the storylines in general, man. I love Tyrod Taylor. Yeah. He always gets injured when, you know, it's like he's kind of like that Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's always getting overtaken by some rookie or something like that.
Yeah.
Jason, let's talk about your start of the week because I mean, I know people are just like, hey, start running backs versus Denver and start wide receivers versus the Colts. But hey, dude, I did not think that this guy, your start of the week, was going to get this much usage.
Yeah, Mr. Brees Hall. Well, part of the reason why I was really looking forward to this guy for the start of the week is because Salah, right? Did I say his name right? Robert Salah. He said he's letting him off the leash. He's letting him out of the cage. His inner tiger is going to come out full stream. Fuel the jet. Fuel the jet.
What the fuck?
He was projected 11 points, and he finished with 29.5. He had 22 carries for 177 yards and 1 touchdown. He also had 3 receptions on 17 yards on 3 targets. And then I'm just saying, I guess, this is the first coach in the NFL this year to actually say he's going to do something and do it. Like, still waiting for Jahmyr Gibbs to get those 20 touches a game. That's a whole different thing. He touched the ball 25 times, and that was his season high. He led the team with 22 rushes, and this is important here. Dalvin Cook was second on the team with only 6.
Yeah.
He had a 3.42 rushing yards over expected per attempt. And the Broncos could not stop Hall from averaging 8 yards a carry. They just couldn't. They didn't have an answer for him. They couldn't stop him. He looked good. He was outrunning people. But this is what you say, Tyler. You start people against the Broncos, especially they're dead last in like 5 categories in the running game. If you have a running back who's struggling, hopefully they go against the Broncos.
And I mean, and I was probably talking. Brees Hall is doing way better than I thought he was going to be doing this year. Javonte Williams is kind of doing, what I thought was going to happen to these returning people off of ACL tears or whatever. Yeah. So he is proving me wrong over and over again, and I should probably start to believe in Brees Hall and just shut my goddamn mouth, Jason. But hey,
yeah,
I thought it was interesting that Dalvin Cook just played 11 snaps. Michael Carter played 20 snaps. So, I was a Dalvin Cook believer and in a Brees Hall naysayer. So I am literally just I was so wrong about the situation.
Well, I think they had higher hopes for Dalvin Cook, and he hasn't looked great in his opportunities. You got Brees Hall, who is a good running back. He showed that off last year. You got to use the kid more. And I think they finally, and it's funny because Brees Hall was talking about his coach. He's like, I didn't even know I was on a pitch count. But they let him. The thing is, though, it's dude, if I was the Broncos going against Zach Wilson and the Jets, why was Brees Hall only getting 8 men in the box 18% of the time? I would have done that a lot, 50% of the time, and just Zach Wilson's going to have to try to outthrow us this game.
Yeah, and I noticed maybe part of the reason that Brees Hall is doing better than I thought is because a lot of his game isn't that shifty stuff. He literally just goes straight, just fucking super fast and big. On that 72-yard rush, man, it was just when I see his long rushes week 1. I mean, it was just straight ahead between the tackles, and his expected rushing yards was 10. He got 72 yards, so that's 62 over expected. He hit 21.5 miles per hour, Jason. That is his second fastest speed of his career. So like I said, he might not have the shiftiness, but who gives a fuck, dude? This guy is hitting the hole so hard. And I mean, I don't know, man. That's how his success came last year when I saw his long runs. I just feel he's not like that, that sweeping, get to the outside type of guy. He just goes right up the middle. And so his ACL isn't as important to that kind of play.
Right. Well, he did look better. He did, because he did have. I watched that game. He did have some nice jukes, but I get what you're saying, and maybe that's just something that will. The longer he plays this year, maybe later down the season, you'll get that swiftiness.
Well, what's crazy, Jason, is we always compare it to Adrian Peterson running for 2,000 yards after he tore his ACL.
Yeah.
And you know how Adrian Peterson uses his knees? He's then he hits it. How the fuck did your ACL? He had the worst running style for ACL tear.
I know.
But hey, man, that's Adrian Peterson.
He was such a fun running back. He would line up 15 yards behind Christian Ponder.
Dude, and he does he's took a step back. I don't, and then went, and it's dude, you're fucking that guy.
Yeah,
I loved it.
He's Now he's telling his offensive line, it's like, that hole better be open by the time I get there because
Dude,
I'm going full
otherwise-
speed.
Well, you're fucking getting a hole in your back.
Yeah.
I'm fucking goddamn by a helmet size
Right.
hole in your back. All right. Anyways, Adrian Peterson talk made me a Vikings fan, pretty much. That and the cool helmets.
Yeah. Dude, you got cool helmets.
Fucking, I mean, hell yeah. So do the Cowboys, Jason.
Yeah, I like the purple of the Vikings helmets, man.
Oh yeah.
Like to me, they look like they're plastic. I don't know. I know they're
Oh,
like
I know, like the flat, like that weird, like flat sparkle stuff that they have now. It's
yeah,
like
it's crazy. I like it. I really
yeah,
do.
I know it looks like it would break real easy, but I do like it.
Yeah.
Maybe like a nice BMX bike or something like that. All right, what was I doing? Oh yeah, so my start of the week, Romeo Dobbs. I think he's only projected like 9 points, like 32nd in out of wide receivers this week. He is wide receiver 16 on the year, so they still are not giving Romeo Dobbs his respect. He's got like 12 targets, 13 targets, fucking some amount of targets. If somebody's getting targets, dude, just play them because they have a high floor. And now with Aaron Jones out, like I thought he was going to be limited, but now out. Romeo Dobbs should kill it tonight. And Park, if you're watching this, don't give us any money.
Don't give us any money, but we do take PayPal.
Ah. All right, Jason, we going to do the smashes.
Pay us in likes.
And I never thought we'd be writing this fool's name on anything, not even crashes, because he's not like, if he crashes, it is expected. But Jason, this player right here.
Oh yeah. Okay. I was like, who are you talking? I have to scroll up. That's so funny.
He was like top 5, like maybe QB5 this week.
We're talking about Desmond Ritter,
Yeah.
quarterback, Atlanta Falcons, disturbing the peace family. ESPN projected him 12 points, and he finished with 28. I never thought I would see the day of that. 26 completions on 37 attempts, 329 yards. Is his first 300-yard game of his career. He only had one passing touchdown, but he had zero interceptions. But he did run the ball 4 times for 10 yards and a rushing touchdown. I was going to bump up those numbers. He has 71 expected completion percentage, which is pretty damn good. The Falcons, they went to the pass because the running game was not happening against the Houston Texans. I watched that game because I have Bijan. It was not happening in that game. What's their names? The Texans were just focusing on stopping the run, letting Ritter beat him through the air. I feel like that's a pretty good strategy, but didn't work out for the Texans. So Ritter got his tight ends involved. He loves his tight ends. They combined for 18 targets this game, both his tight ends. And he stepped up against a defense who is 7th in quarterback scoring. But I wouldn't expect this every week for Desmond Ritter. Maybe only one other time this year.
Dude, this was his first career 300-yard passing game, which is, CJ Stroud has like 2 and has one every other game.
Yeah.
But the big thing was, Jason, he completed 5 passes in that game-winning drive. So CJ Stroud went and scored a touchdown to take the lead. Like 2 minutes left. Dude, they actually, probably because they didn't have time to run the goddamn ball. So they're like, fuck it, we have to trust this guy. But he threw the ball, completed 5 passes. So he actually won the game for the Falcons. So is this like a huge turnaround? Because I'm telling you, man, I was saying in the offseason, Ritter's better than what people think. At the end of last year, when the Drake London was averaging like 85 yards a game. And so I was tripping out about how bad he looked this year. So this is coming up a little bit. I still you got to pick your shots with him, Jason. He is playing Washington next week. I think that he'll be a top 5th. I don't know, dude. I still don't. I need to see this a couple weeks in a row. I still probably wouldn't play him.
Look what Fields did against the Commanders next week. But this is a run team first. And if Washington cannot stop Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier, he's not going to need to throw the ball for 300 yards next week.
Yeah, and he always is a threat with his legs. I
know, dude. It's like his second rushing touchdown of the year.
Yeah.
Vulture. Freaking vulture, dog.
It's crazy, man, how often this guy in the Kyle Pitts breakout game, this is what it should be. He should be getting fucking double-digit targets every single game.
Yeah, Jim Smith had a good game too.
So, Desmond Ritter, we have to put him up here because he won the game for this squad. I mean, that was super surprising. He had one less point than Jalen Hurts, and Jalen Hurts had the best game of his career
Of the
the
season?
season this last week.
I thought the same thing. Yeah.
I was like, shit, dude. So Jason, he is literally available in every league. Would you be picking up Desmond Ridder?
I would not.
Neither would I.
Yeah. I think he is going to get picked up. I would like to see this percentage after Wednesday or Tuesday, whenever it goes through. But he's even a tough plug and play, man. It's going to be like, when are you going to want to even try to start this guy and hope? Because, like I said, they want to run the ball first. So that's their main focus.
All right, Jason. So, I mean, not much to say about Ridder, because that's probably an outlier right there. But hey, this dude right here, if you would have got him off of waivers, I probably should have spent up and got this dude, because he's winning weeks, people. But did you start him this week? Did you have the balls, or, regardless of man or woman, you both have balls of what we're talking about. Did you have those balls to play him? Zach Moss, Jason.
The huevos. Yeah, ESPN projected him at 5 points and ended with 36. 23 rushes, 165 yards, 2 touchdowns. He averages 7.2 yards per carry against a defense that's third in running back scoring. WTF to that. His first TD was just right up the gut, too. 56 yards. Nothing fancy, just right up the gut, outran everybody. He also added 2 receptions for 30 yards. He saw 8 men in the box 21% of the time and had 65 yards over rushing expectation. I had a question on TikTok, Tyler.
Yeah.
The guy asked me, Hubbard or Moss? And I was like, well, with JTT returning and then facing the Titans' tough run defense, I thought it was going to be a simple, you got to start Hubbard. They're going to be playing from behind against the Lions. You know he's going to get his receptions. JTT, from what I'm hearing, he's ready to go. He's going to get that workload. Right. And they're also playing against the Titans. Yeah, I might want to hit that guy up and be like, oh, sorry, that was my sister who answered that. Sorry, dude.
I apologize. If I remember what I did, I always go back and apologize. But it's, hey, dude, that's a good bet. I mean, you probably had, regardless if you lost or not, it was still a good bet.
Yeah, and JTT only had 6 carries, and it was weird because I read there was no pitch count, and hopefully there's not a pitch count moving forward.
Yeah, so I'm wondering how this is going to go. I think there's a chance because, I mean, I forget what they traded to get Zach Moss last year, but it wasn't like it was nothing. I think he's only 25 years old. He's number 3 in the NFL with 114 rushing yards over expected this season. That is more than CMC or Bijan. He reached 21 miles an hour pretty much on his 56-yard touchdown, dude. That's like the fastest of his career, but he was still slower than Anthony Richardson, who went over that. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, right. That is the fastest speed by a quarterback without the ball since week 1, 2016. Jason, Zach Moss had a 3-yard touchdown. Did you know that?
Yeah. One out of those
goal
2.
line. They're not even using. So I was thinking they would just use Jonathan Taylor maybe on the goal line, or something. Because that's like, he doesn't really need, he just has to use his instincts and his vision. Not a lot of I don't know. I just thought it'd be easier for him. He didn't even get that. So, Jason, he has at least 70 rushing yards in each of the games he's played this year. So his floor has been crazy high. I would continue to start Moss until something changes, because I think best case scenario it's going to be a time 50-50 by the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, Zach Moss got a crazy workload in the first 5 weeks of the year. It's still just like the fact that I haven't read, maybe I just missed it. I haven't read any type of pitch count for, Jonathan Taylor. It's like, do I still want to put that risk out there and start him next week? I don't know. That kind of gets me a little anxious.
Yeah, I mean, I read the thing they were saying they wanted to make sure you get they want to get him ready for something. I don't know what the fuck I'm trying to say.
Okay, so he was kind of like
they kind of gave an excuse for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we wanted to get him, gradually work him in.
So what if a report comes out tomorrow, Tyler, and they're like, he's getting everything, no holdbacks, out of the cage, throwing away the key.
Yeah.
Are you starting Zach Moss still?
That's funny. I forgot who they're playing. Do I have who they're playing next week? Oh, damn it, I don't. Yeah, I'm starting Zach Moss still.
Okay.
I'll eat the. I mean, dude. Yeah, I'd still start him because I mean, really, Jonathan Taylor. I mean, he should be 100% if he's playing, but he's still coming off of a major injury.
Looks like they're playing the Jaguars in Jacksonville.
That's pretty tough. The Jaguars have been stopping the run as of late. But still, I would still start him. I mean, look, he just did it against the fucking the Titans. So why would I not start him against the Jaguars? So yeah, I'm not trading for Zach Moss. I would trade away Zach Moss and give him that explanation I just gave you, because try to sell high on this. I mean, this is going to be the most points he scores all year by far. How do you feel about that, Jason?
Yeah, I think as long as I don't get anything that he's that Jonathan Taylor is going to get some more touches, or he's resuming his regular roles, I think he could go ahead and still play him.
No, I'm saying trade for him or trade him away.
Oh, I if you could trade him away, yeah.
That's what I was saying. I know, I would trade him away high, man. Like after that performance right there.
Gotta do it. Be like, oh, he's the new guy in Indy.
The Fantasy Red Zone said 50-50 timeshare, maybe.
Yeah.
All right, Jason, the squeaky the squeaky wheel gets the grease, man. Talk about that later as well. Ja'Marr Chase. Good luck if you win against fucking Ja'Marr Chase or DJ Moore, George Kittle.
Yeah, they kind of did their thing. Well, we're going to go with Ja'Marr Chase for the smash wide receiver of the week. He was projected 17 points, and he finished with 48.5. Yeah, 15 receptions, 192 yards, 3 touchdowns on 19 targets. Oh my gosh. I did not make that stat up, I promise you. His second touchdown was a beautiful 63-yard bomb. He broke franchise records for receptions with 15. I think the record before was 13. And I mentioned that it was like a 63-yard bomb, his second touchdown. It's funny because he averaged 7 yards of cushion, so they were trying not to get rid of the deep threat, and it backfired because he burned everybody with the speed. And he had 3.2 yards of separation, which is pretty good. I always my personal boundaries. I'm always like 3.2 yards away from me, please.
What the fuck?
I was like, you're too close. I need 3.2 yards of separation. Don't get near me. I feel like, and if someone was going to throw me a ball, I feel like I could catch it. 3.2 yards. It's a good radius of space.
What the fuck are you talking about?
But this is like the games that us fantasy managers who drafted him were expecting. This is what we wanted to see. T. Higgins was out, and Chase took advantage of it with a 55% share of teams' air yards. He dominated the left side of the field. 13 of his targets was lined up to Burrow's left. And, the Cardinals cornerbacks, Hamilton and Wilson, neither one of them had an answer for Chase. He was able to do what he wanted. And in his first touchdown, he was like outrunning like 2 defenders just along the end zone. And he just it was a great game, and this is what people were expecting with T. Higgins out. Like, he's going to get all the freaking targets, and he did.
Yeah, I was like, man, he's gonna get 20 targets that day, and then, but still. So, Jason, he's just the third player since 1950, Marshall Faulk and Jerry Rice, with multiple games with 50+ fantasy points. So, Ja'Marr Chase is like a third-year wide receiver or some shit like that.
Yeah,
and he's already got that. So. That's crazy. And I think the biggest thing to take away from this, Jason, is that Joe Burrow actually looked healthy. I was waiting for that fool to go on IR, dude. Yeah. So if you're a Joe Burrow owner, you better be like, oh, man. And Ja'Marr Chase, I mean, seriously, a guy in our league that we play Apex Legends with, he's like, oh, man, once Ja'Marr Chase has a good game, I'm going to trade him away. So I'm like, now I'm thinking, fuck, dude, maybe I'll send him some trades.
Mm-hmm.
I can't send him a quarter. I probably would have tried to send him Jalen Hurts plus, but now I have to keep him because Anthony Richardson can't finish. I can't. You need 2 quarterbacks if you have Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, I wonder if he is going to trade him away. I know he told me earlier today he needs some running backs because Joe Mixon is his number 1.
Yeah, and also he had Jonathan Taylor, who just disappointed.
Yeah.
Jason, 14 of Jamar Chase's catches went for either a first down or a touchdown. That is the most ever recorded in a single game. So that's insane.
Yeah. Joe Burrow looked good throwing the ball. And, Jamar Chase was Jamar Chase. So this is good to see. Maybe they needed a team going against the Cardinals, like just to, set them up again, set them off. Like this could be it. Here we go. Bengals are back, baby. We'll see you next week.
Yeah. Would you if you are a Chase owner, I mean, everybody's probably been sending you trades. I would hold because now with Justin Jefferson down, there's like 2 elite wide receivers. It's like Tyreek Hill and then probably this dude right here. So Jamar Chase, you want a piece of that pie, that's worth more than probably what people are going to give you. So hold on Jamar Chase. I believe that this might be the regular for a little bit.
Yeah. Hold the line.
Hold the line. All right, Jason, we talk about this guy going nuclear. This is why you fucking draft this guy, because he goes nuclear. Tight ends don't get goddamn points anyways. It's nice to get one. That'll get you 30 plus points every once in a while.
Yep.
All he does is catch touchdowns, Jason. And I don't know if you saw his shirt under his jersey.
I did. We don't need to talk about that in front of the children.
It said, fuck the Cowboys. I can't believe it. I can't believe it, Jason. He's got a target on his head. Where's Terrell Owens when you need him?
I know. He's no longer cool. I used to like him. He needs to go back to Iowa.
Jason, George Kittle is who we're talking about. What do you want to say about that?
Okay. He was projected 7.5 points, and he finished with 25? And I'm like questioning. I'm like, for some reason it doesn't sound right. But no, I think that is right. He continued his success against the Cowboys, starting in the playoffs last year. He had 95 receiving yards against them. And in week 5, he recorded 3 receptions, 67 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Like Randy Moss numbers against the Cowboys at Thanksgiving years ago. He had like 3 receptions, 150 yards, and 3 touchdowns. It's an unlucky 3. One of his touchdowns, Tyler, was a trick play. It was exactly the same way that Sam Laporta scored earlier in the day. I don't know if you saw that. It was the same like flea flicker, reverse play, behind the back, through the legs, do a cartwheel to Kittle for a touchdown. Sam Laporta did that earlier. So they're cheaters.
Sam.
They are cheating.
Laporta.
Sam Laporta. It's a great play, and it worked for 2 tight ends. So Sam Laporta.
Yeah, I saw that too. And that was Brock Purdy throwing it.
Yeah. And then Kettle's first touchdown was a scramble play. He was looking for Kittle in the end zone, found him, and his third was a basic in the middle of the end zone. It was nothing fancy about it. He just ran to the middle of the end zone, Purdy threw the ball, and he caught it. Then he put out that atrocious shirt. He should be burned. But the thing I really want to add to this is that this was his night in the receiving core, right? It was his night. Ayuk, Debo didn't produce much. So next week, he could have the quiet night, and one of the others get have a big game. That's just how it is for the San Francisco 49ers receiving core.
Yeah, and I mean, Kittle, he didn't even have a touchdown going into this game, and he got 3 of them.
Yeah.
So Kittle caught all 3 of his targets over 10 air yards for 67 yards and 3 touchdowns. That is tied the most touchdown receptions over 10 yards by a tight end in a game ever. So it's just like, I mean, that's pretty deep. Shit, I don't know what I'm talking about. I shouldn't even read that thing. I was so tired.
Yeah.
I thought I knew what I was talking about. Then I read it. I was like, I read that earlier and understood it. And I'm like, what the hell was I even understanding earlier? But I can say that he had 3 yards of separation on 2 of his 3 touchdowns. And everything that I gathered from sports radio shows, I forget who it was, like Ryan, not Ryan Clark.
Rich Eisen.
Oh, Michael Irvin. It was the way that they were getting open last night was all scheme, just like that flea flicker and shit, dude. Like they were out scheming that defense. So that defense I thought was going to be able to contain. That was like a coaching issue last night, dude. That wasn't a personnel issue.
Oh, absolutely. They got out coached. They got
that
out
was some crazy shit.
Yeah.
And the good news is, Jason, Kittle gets to go against Cleveland next week, and they have one of the top defenses in the NFL across all categories.
Interesting.
So, but that really doesn't scare me because, I've been waiting for this. We talked about George Kittle catching like 9 touchdowns in the last like 7 games or something last year with Kittle.
Yeah.
So now maybe this is going more towards the mean. Things are going to average their way out. Kittle, still has a low floor, but he should be catching these touchdowns way more often. Maybe he'll have a good 2 out of 3 games now instead of fucking 1 out of every 3.
Right. I mean, it was a great game that he had, but the thing that still concerns me is that he only had 3 opportunities.
Yeah, I know, dude. And that's the thing about that offense is like, what is the constant there? I think it's just Brandon Ayuk. I should have checked to see.
I would say Brandon Ayuk. I feel like I would, out of them 3, I would still like to get Brandon Ayuk. Even though Debo, he almost got a touchdown. He stopped at the 1-yard line.
Yeah, and that's
Ayuk still, I prefer him.
Yeah, and that's with CMC not doing much last night too. I mean, a big part of all these touchdowns that Kittle got was that they didn't throw it out of the backfield to Christian McCaffrey or anything else like that.
Yep.
All right, Jason, on to the crashes.
Okay.
This dude either scores like 30 points or 5 points.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to throw for 6,000 yards this year, Jason?
Yeah, that's the plan. That's the idea.
He has not reached 240 passing yards in a game fucking yet. So he better turn it up and start throwing 500-yard or 600-yard games like college or some shit.
Did you see you saw my notes? Did I send you my notes?
No.
Did Susan send you my notes? So he was projected 20 points in this game against the Steelers, and he finished with 9. 22 completions on 38 attempts, 0 touchdowns, throwing touchdowns, 236 yards. That adds to Tyler that he hasn't been able to throw for 240 yards this year. His highest is 237. And he had 1 interception, 1 fumble, and he was sacked 4 times. He did rush the ball 6 times for 45 yards, but no touchdowns. That's right. No touchdowns throwing, no touchdowns running. And it wasn't all his fault, Tyler.
Not at all.
They showed the clips. He had 5 drop passes from his wide receivers. I think 3 of them came from Zay Flowers. 1 came from Bateman in the end zone, and the other one came from Andrews in the end zone. So he could have had more points, but his wide receivers were not helping him. His completion percentage over expectation was minus 5.2 with a completion percentage of 57. Those 5 drops do not help. This was a defensive game for the most part. It was like 10-3 for the most part of the game. And they both could, and the Ravens and the Steelers both couldn't stay on the field. Ravens were 5 out of 14 on 3rd down, and they're 0-2 for 4th down. This ends the streak of back-to-back games with 2 rushing touchdowns from Lamar Jackson. And then you said Tyler Jackson has not thrown for over 240 yards this year under the new OC and only has 4 passing touchdowns in 5 games.
Hell, dude, he's only rushed for more than 55 yards only 1 time, so he's just not getting the yards. He needs those rushing touchdowns to be relevant right now, which he was getting. Damn, what was I going to tell you? It doesn't matter. Oh yeah. So he had like PFF. I saw this tweet, whatever the fuck you call it now, the X, that he had like the highest passer rating of his season at like 98 point something. But he had his least productive day because he had an all-time letdown from his receiving core. They were actually credited with 7 drops, Jason. That is the 3rd most since 2017. So that was like out of the last 5 years, dude. Nobody's had more drops in a fucking game, including 2 in the end zone and 2 more on throws 20+ yards downfield. So
yeah, there was.
It's just like that's so much. That's so many points, dude. That fucking sucks.
I want to say it was Nelson Aguilar who it was just a go route, and he would have been wide open. Probably ran in 50+ yard touchdown, but right through his hands.
So, Jason, if you are a Lamar owner, they are at Tennessee next week. You can throw like a motherfucker on Tennessee. So look for Mark Andrews and Zay Flowers to maybe come back. I can't remember how Tennessee is against tight ends, but I'm pretty sure they let that loose. It's just running backs are good against. So, yeah, I expect Lamar to bounce back next week. I would not. I mean, Jason, would you trade for Lamar?
I like Lamar. I think this would be the time
to do it.
you could probably do it low. Like Tyler, you and I are saying this right now. This bad game was not his fault. So
Yeah.
when the wide receivers could catch the ball again, sometimes you forget. You get dementia.
And OBJ is still out. I know he's supposed to come back eventually. So, yeah,
He's
you know
so-
what? I would do that, Jason. I would try to trade for Lamar Jackson, especially with quarterbacks like Anthony Richardson being injured now. And just some underperforming quarterbacks in general. I think that Lamar's ceiling is actually, he's got one of the highest ceilings in the league still. So,
Yeah, he does.
all right. So, yeah. And if you're a Lamar owner, hold the line.
Hold the line.
All right, Jason, let's go to your team, America's team, Jason's team. Whose team is it? Tony Pollard, man.
Yes.
Second bad game fantasy wise in a row due to blowouts. Jason, I want to point out
Yes.
on both fucking
On both
directions.
ends.
Like, so Pollard doesn't get points when they blow somebody out or when they get blown
No.
out.
No.
He needs no blow games. No blow.
No blow. No blow games. Ain't no blow. No mo.
Ain't no blow. No mo.
ESPN projected 15 points. He finished with 5. He had 8 rushes for 29 yards and 0 touchdowns, and 4 receptions for 35 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 5 targets. I tried going to next gen stats, but you're not going to get anything on this guy because you got to at least rush the ball 10 times. He did not manage that because the Cowboys lost that game by the time it was 14-0. 49ers offense or defensive line just overpowered the Cowboys O-line, and the Cowboys had to abandon the run early. I mean, it didn't matter anyway because they couldn't even throw. And I believe Pollard got his 4 receptions in the second half when they were leaning on the passing more. But, you said this, Tyler. This is back-to-back games under 50 rushing yards against the Patriots, against the 49ers. So, they're both kind of good defenses, you could say, right?
Against the run, at least, yeah.
Yes. So, it looks like, we've always been like, oh, the Dallas line, it's great. They're going to overpower. Right now, no, they're not. I will say this was the first game that the Cowboys had their starting line all there, all ready to go, ready to play. But, I mean, it didn't matter. The San Francisco 49ers just had a better game plan. They played better. They outplayed. They won in the trenches, so it doesn't matter. Next week, I might do this for my start of the week. A little bounce back player. They play against the Chargers.
Oh, yeah. Well, guess who's going to get some trade requests? Jason, guess who I'm trying to trade for? I'm not going to get him because I can't fucking trade Jalen Hurts anymore.
TP?
No, yeah, Tony Pollard. I think that he is an exceptional buy low candidate right now, and that you should try to trade for him. As soon as I said exceptional, I started to do that stupid fucking. I was going to do an English accent, and I could never even get my mouth to do that. Hello. I got no accents. Anyways, Jason, moving forward, I think that if I was a Pollard owner, don't trade him whatsoever because you cannot get what he is worth right now.
Mm-hmm.
He still has that chance to be a top tier running back. I mean, we only have Bajan and CMC and hopefully Austin Eckler when he comes back. He still has a chance to get there. We got to get. I don't know, man. It's still the season's still young. I still want Pollard. Probably my biggest buy low candidate of the week.
This next game is going to be huge, right? It's going to be Mike McCarthy against Kellen Moore. Who's the better play caller?
Jesus Christ. Yeah, no kidding.
They're going to want to ball out next week, so give me some of that game. Give me some.
All right, Jason. Speaking of back-to-back bad weeks, Devonta Smith.
All right.
Dude.
Devonta Smith, ESPN. Yep. Oh, sorry. Did you have some?
Oh, no.
Okay. ESPN projected 12.5 points, and he finished with 5. 0.5. He finished with 0.5. I forgot. I see that period that I put there. 0.5. He only had 1 reception for 6 yards, no touchdowns, and he did that on 5 targets. The crazy thing, Tyler, this guy's cushion was almost 8 yards. He averaged 7.9 yards per cushion, but his separation was only 2.2. That's not good. I want my personal space at least 3 yards and more.
That's like Tyreek Hill, and that's like the elite wide receivers are always somewhere around 3 for some reason.
Yes. I mean, I feel like if it's 3 yards, Tyler, you and I could probably throw to a wide receiver that's 3 yards open. You know what I'm saying? But they were not letting Smith beat them deep in yesterday's game against the Rams. And for the most part, they had a defender glued to him for most of the game. And you could tell he was very sad on the sidelines. There's a picture of him, and he's just sitting there, and he's just like, I want the ball. And their coach is just sitting there, just like, hey, hang in there, buddy. You know, don't lose your mindset. We still got a game to play. We'll get you out there. We'll get you out there. But I'm also saying, Tyler, that I believe there's going to be games like this for Devontae Smith, and that's just because of the pie size in Philadelphia.
He is a number 2 wide receiver, and like it's he was kind of like this last year. I mean, it's almost boom or bust. For a while, he had a good stretch going last year, but still, man, it's like he's that high ceiling. He's almost like that Mike Williams type of. He's like a Mike Williams that stays healthy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, stays healthy. Good.
Yeah, and then but what he should have done, Jason, is get up in Jalen Hurts' face and have a big fucking fight on the sidelines. So pre-tantrum Devontae, right? So pre-AJ Brown tantrum. Devontae was getting 20 points per game pretty much, and with a 27% target share. Post-tantrum, 8 fantasy points per game, 17% target share. He's lost 10% of his goddamn target share. Giving over to the crybaby. It's squeaky wheel, man. I thought he was going to have a squeaky wheel game. Well, shit. This happened like 2 or 3 weeks in a row.
Mm-hmm. He needs to go and say something and be like, hey, Jalen, hey, buddy.
Ugh.
Can I get more involved? If it's okay. I mean, you don't have to tell AJ Brown, but maybe next game.
I'll suck you.
Oh, woo! Oh my god!
Sorry, man.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Whatever it takes. Whatever
Jason.
it takes. Yeah.
That's what I was like thinking. I was like, what's that dude? The Dave Chappelle character when he has the crack rock?
Yeah.
That's what I was
rocks.
thinking. With your voice. Anyways, dude, Dallas Goedert. This is what is probably super annoying to Devontae owners, is that Dallas Goedert had 100 yards and AJ Brown had 100 yards. There was nothing left for Devontae, dude. He had, 0.5 points?
Yeah.
I think that I am trying to buy Jason. I want a piece of Devontae. I will be sending some trades to the guy that does not make fucking trades in our league. I'm going to do it anyways.
Yeah.
It's Trevor.
Yes. Trevor. But yeah, it's that piece of the pie, Tyler. There's not enough.
But dude, like, say you are a Jalen Hurts owner, definitely try to get you some Devontae Smith. I think that's an awesome stack, man. Like to have in your flex. Like if you could do that, oh yeah, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, and then now that is back-to-back subpar weeks, you could say that you might be able to get him pretty cheap.
Right, exactly. Like what you could trade for him, you could maybe be rocking Devontae Smith in your flex, and that'd be fucking awesome, dude. Okay, Jason, our last crash. Our last
one.
Crash.
This one's going to be pretty. I feel like you want to say something.
I thought I was losing cell phone service.
I felt like you wanted to say something, so I wasn't trying to stay true to.
Then you started going, and I was like,
yeah, I was like, were you going to? Should I? You okay? Do you got something?
Oh no, Hunter Henry. This guy was a top fucking like 2 tight end for like the first 3 weeks. He was a top 5 tight end like Mac Jones rookie year. So man, I really thought he was gonna be top 5 tight end this year. This is more of a story of the Patriots, Jason. How do you feel about Hunter Henry?
I like what you said, the story of the Patriots. He was projected 6.5 points going into the game, and he finished with a goose egg. 0, 0, 0 on 2 targets. And I wrote down here, this is a product of his environment. Mac Jones was bench once again because he is not playing well. And when you have a QB playing poorly as Mac Jones, it is difficult to have any fantasy value on that team. Right now, Tyler, Zach Wilson is playing better than Mac Jones. Oh, you're there? Okay.
Yeah, dude. It's like I've never seen. I mean, I've only been watching football for like 20 years. But man, I've never seen a quarterback regress so fast like that, dude. Especially like a rookie one. And Bill Belichick just fucked that dude up. So, I mean,
it's not looking good when you get replaced by a guy named Zappy.
They have, and then from what I can gather, is that there is no separation on this team right now. Like, they got rid of Jacoby Myers for no reason. Like I was wondering why the hell they got rid of Jacoby Myers.
Yeah.
Jason, I think we were.
Right.
And then
they
I was
gave a extension to Devontae Parker.
correct. Yeah. Now Julian Edelman was on the herd today, and he was just like, dude, I'm watching these wide receivers. They have like three. We've had like 3 number 1 wide receivers or first round wide receivers like over the last whatever years. There's nothing first round about these guys. These guys all pretty much, there's no separation. Nobody does anything special at one thing. And it's hurting Mac Jones like that on top of no offensive coordinator for a year. I think this is kind of fucked, dude. Like, I don't know if the Patriots can rectify this. If I was a Ramondre Stevenson owner, if I was a Henry owner, I'd still roll out Henry. His tight ends fucking suck anyways. And if you were starting Henry, that means that you probably didn't draft one. You know what I'm saying, Jason?
Yeah. But even Ramondre Stevenson, dude, it's like I don't even want to play that dude now. And I was high on him going into the season.
Dude, yeah, the guy that drafted Ramondre also drafted Gibbs and some other crazy shit. Did you see, Jason? My whole roster is on the block. And then it's like, you go to updates, likely to trade.
About time. We're just sitting here trying to do this like weeks ago.
Well, I'm thinking about sending him a trade for Gibbs because I still believe in Gibbs if I'm making it to the championship. But if you're a Gibbs owner, you're probably fucked, dude. You're probably like trying to stay afloat, have that playoff dreams.
Yeah.
But if you have a good team and you're set, I think you can take the risk on Gibbs. It's just a matter of what it would take to get him, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how we got to talking about that. Sorry about that. But anyways, Hunter Henry, I'm not trying to trade for him. I still think that his ceiling is top 5 tight end. Still, you know, if they turn this shit around, it cannot get any worse than what it has been, man. Like, I don't know how it gets worse. I mean, they even started they threw Bailey Zappi in there, didn't they?
That's what I'm saying. When you're getting replaced by a guy named Zappi 2 weeks in a row, here's your sign.
And he was held without a catch for the first time this season. He had 42 snaps to jet skis, Jason. You know Mike Jetski?
Yeah.
Gesicki? He had 16 snaps, but he did have 2 receptions on 4 targets. So, dude, like when Gesicki was in there, he was actually catching the ball. It just sucked for Hunter Henry owners this week. I would still have faith in Hunter Henry. They do have Las Vegas next week. That is Bill Belichick. Josh McDaniels actually beats Bill Belichick. He did it with the Broncos, at least.
Years ago.
Kind of an interesting game.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. That is the show. Thank you so much for watching. Yep. Hopefully we earned a thumbs up. Hopefully we earned a subscription. If you are not already subscribed, we need it. If you know what that reference is, we're like SpongeBob SquarePants. Man, we need subscriptions like SpongeBob needs fucking water, dude.
I need it.
Jason, send us out.
Yeah, so we got some play and pause videos coming out this week. It's the Broncos at Kansas City. And for some reason, I may be in my own mind, but I'm like, damn, this Broncos player pause is going to be more difficult than the Chicago Bears one last week. But we'll see what happens. Do we start or do we play or pause Jerry Jeudy? Stay tuned to find out. I mean, not today, but tomorrow. Stay tuned for 24 hours. With that being said, make sure to watch those videos when they come out, and we'll talk to you later. Deuces.
Catch you on the flip side.